Hello, welcome to Irish Football Fan TV. Back again with the Irish Abroad. Tom Healy here, joined again by Paul and Steve. Lads, there's really only one place to start this week. We spoke about him last week, but Adam Idah, again,
Yeah.
Wednesday night, he scored 2 goals against Aston Villa in the Champions League for Celtic. He actually scored again today against Motherwell. He's been something else recently, Paul.
Yeah, Steve said last week, be the main man. And I think everyone saw when Celtic were 2-0 down against Villa. And then he was the one that got the goal. And then he got a quick fire goal. I think our WhatsApp group, fell off when we saw that he got the 2 goals because we were delighted. I can't remember the last time an Irishman scored 2 goals in the Champions League tie, or even if it's been done before that. So
Huge game as well.
yeah, so I don't like it was great to see. Look, everyone's been questioning him ever since he's gone there. He's scoring big goals, he's doing big things, and yeah, Celtic are going strong. Although they lost the tie to Villa, but like he's doing really well there, and he's showing he can do it against Premier League teams. Aston Villa are one of the best teams in the Premier League at the moment. I don't care what anybody says. And look, they'll be aiming to finish in the Champions League again this year. Celtic wouldn't have been a team that you'd think that would go there and get a result. So for Adam to go there, get the two goals, get back level, give the away fans something to shout about, and shout out to Shane Duffy as well, who was in the away fan section as well. So shout out to him. But yeah, I'll bring it over to you, Steve. Kind of your thoughts on Adam.
Yeah, so like you said last week, I said it. Be the main man, Adam, and he went and done it. And then his goal against Motherwell as well. All three of the goals, just classic centre forward goals. You know what I mean? So just great, great positioning, great little finishes, and I'm delighted for him. Very big game, and lovely goals.
Yeah, Tom. What I liked about his first goal was it was like instinctive. He didn't think about it. It was like a karate kick or a kung fu kick the way he hit it.
Yeah.
And that's just a proper striker, natural instinct goal. And that's what I liked about him. And the second one, he scores a lot of them types of goals, arriving in and just I wouldn't say it was a tapping because he hit the roof of the net with it, but he's really good at those sort of finishes. And then the one against Motherwell, he has that, he sniffs goals out, he gets into the right position, and he makes sure that he tucks the ball away more often than not.
Yeah, like we're obviously going to speak about his goals in depth, but I want to talk about his overall play because I thought, especially against Villa in that first half, he's just such a handful for the backline to deal with, and he offers something like completely different to what Kyogo would have offered in the past. And look, Celtic fans are always going to love Kyogo. He's a bit of a legend there, and sad to see him go. But Adam Idah offers something like completely different to what he did in terms of running the channels. His hold-up play, his link-up play was excellent against Villa.
So physical as well.
Yeah, and you tie that in with what you lads spoke about, that sort of poacher's instinct in the box, which he might have lacked in years gone by. If he ties that into his game, he's serious handful to deal with, and could be, especially up in Scotland against what you would say is probably lesser opposition than what he would have faced in the Premier League and the Championship.
Well, do you remember the game when he played against Portugal for Ireland? And Aaron Connolly was up front with him, and they were playing against Pepe, and I can't remember who the other centre half was, but like
Jose Font, was it? Might have been
Rui Font, was it? I can't remember, but whoever the Portuguese defence were, like Idah and Connolly were brilliant against them, and were a real handful, and they had that was obviously they beat us in the end, but that was a really good performance that night by the Irish team. But he led the line so well for a young lad at the time, and you were thinking, going, surely he can kick on from here. He's had a lot of injuries as well, so I think people forget that whenever he does get a sort of momentum build, it's usually taken away from injury, not because the player's better than him, getting into better positions or whatever. I remember when he's coming through at Norwich, and remember he scored against Everton, and he was kicking on a bit, and then he was out for the rest of the season, and Norwich struggled and Norwich went down because of that. I'm not saying he was going to be the saviour, but he was coming into his own in the Premier League, and then he got those sort of injuries. So now, hopefully, if he can just overcome those sort of injuries, maybe Rodgers was thinking, okay, he can be the man who can come in and replace Kyogo, and he was just kind of having him and slowly bringing him in and giving him substitute appearances. But he scored big goals. He's won the cup, and he scored goals to help Celtic win the league last year as well. So I think he's more than repaid the money that they bought from him, which I thought was cheap enough anyway.
So brilliant performance during the week. Scores again today. Like what Steve said last week, really kind of nailing his colours to the masses, the man up front for them.
Yeah.
And you were just hoping that they'd show that bit of faith in him and not go and sign some other striker. Actually have him be the main man.
He
play
put straight in against Villa in a big game.
In a huge game. So Anyway, next topic is yet another Irish man who's in form in Europe. This is 2 goals in consecutive weeks for Troy Parrott in Europe, albeit in a losing effort. But this was of particular Irish interest because it was up against Robbie Keane's new team, Ferencváros. They lost 4-3. They were up 3-0 Ferencváros. The game ended 4-3. Parrott scored in the 90th minute when they made a little bit of a comeback, gave them a bit of a scare. But yet again, another goal in Europe for Troy Parrott.
Yeah, and I would say an assist as well because he had some good link up play with the other goal scorers. Good later, I can't remember his name, but it was almost like watching Robbie Keane as a young fella. He dummied over the ball and the player ran in, but it was like a 1-2, skipped over the ball, and then the other player went in and tapped it in. Obviously, it was too late at that stage; it became 2 consolation goals. But he took his goal really well, and he's been scoring like that a lot this season. I think with the league in mind, they're playing right now. So I think with the league in mind, he starts in the league, and I think that they were kind of like leaving the European game a little bit there. But Robbie, obviously, as you mentioned, I know he's not really going to get a mention on that, but they won and they've progressed now, I think, as well. So yeah, for Troy, it's great to see our Irish players getting moments on big stages and showing that they are good enough, because they've been written off a lot in the past by different people and stuff like that. So I think the Dutch league is really suiting Troy's game. That team AZ are really suiting Troy as well. So I mean, all he could do is keep scoring and providing goals, and he's doing his job. Otherwise it's up to the others at the club. But
Yeah, and look, not only did he score them 2 goals in Europe, he also done them off the bench as well. He came on late in the Roma game. I think he came on around the hour mark during the week.
no, I think he was around actually near the 80-minute mark, and he scored it not long after.
Yeah, and like you said, it was a lovely goal, edge of the box, just like inside the edge of the box, bangs it in the.
Well, that was. Oh, you're talking about against Ferencváros or Roma?
Yeah, the Ferencváros.
Sorry, yeah. Sorry, I'm getting confused with Roma. My bad.
Yeah, no worries. So yeah, both games off the bench, great goals, and I think earlier in the season he scored a late goal against Elfsborg as well in Europe. So yeah, brilliant from Troy. Great to see him doing well.
And this was different to what we spoke about with Adam Idah and that sort of poacher's instinct, getting on the end of balls in the box, which Troy can do. We've seen him do in the past. This was just a real bit of quality, picking the ball up on the edge of the box and powerful strike into the side net, and nothing the keeper can do.
Keeper's near post as well.
Yeah, and look, it wasn't a losing effort, but albeit he stood out in the European game, which has been hard to come by for Irish strikers in the past.
I think if you look at the goal, I think once he gets his first touch, you can tell he knows he's going to score. Yeah. He's in that good a form at the minute, so I think that's good to see as well. I think Robbie Keane said it. I think he should play more for Ireland. I just don't get why he doesn't.
He didn't really get his chance in the last window.
No, not really at all. Finland, he kind of came on because he was one kind of celebrating with Robbie Brady, but never really got much. I don't know why. He obviously scored the 4 goals after not being played, and then he came back in and he got hardly played as well. I understand Smodix is in the Premier League, Evan Ferguson's in the Premier League and stuff like that, but when a player's playing in form, I think you got to play the players in form, or look at a way of manoeuvring them into the team, like he did with Smodix. Didn't necessarily play as a striker, but he played in other positions. He played at the 10, he played off the left or whatever, So I think Troy is equally as good. He could play as a 9, a 10, or either side, almost as like an inside forward, I think, as well. So I think we need to find ways. If he's still firing on all cylinders come next month, I think he has to find a way to get him in the team, because we need goals. That's something we really lack. We've got, and we'll discuss it later in the transfer show, but like we've got good defenders now. If Jake's getting a room with Everton, I imagine Aaron Cashman will get a room with Brighton. So we've got a couple more Premier League players in there as well. And then our other players are playing abroad. I'm sure we'll touch on them as well. So I think it's for the first time in a long time, I think we're in a good space as a squad. I think there's actually going to be players competing for places rather than guaranteed. Yeah. Like not places in the starting level, I just mean for the squad. There's never really been a guaranteed starter in the team, you would say. And I think that's something Hamer said, is that we want to have kind of know our first 11. Because if you look at the Irish team, it's never like you would probably say Seamus Coleman was a banker, but even still, like he's getting on now. Like Seamus won't be in, but does Jake O'Brien now become that right back? So there's questions that need to be asked next month. But it's good to see all these players getting runs, getting moves, and getting into their teams and performing, especially the strikers.
Yeah, competition for places can only be a good thing.
100%. Healthy. Yeah,
especially for strikers.
Yeah, for Parrott, like if he keeps up this form, he has to be firmly in consideration for
Has to
starting
be.
places or at least more minutes than he got in the last window. Another man looking to put himself in the kind of consideration for the Ireland squad again, Aaron Connolly, who recently got a move to Millwall. Missed a penalty in his first game, but he got his first goal this week against QPR in the first minute of the game. Another kind of instinctual striker's finish. Ball gets bobbled across the box, falls to him, who's just inside the box, and wraps it far bottom left corner. Uh, Good start, hopefully, and hopefully sign of things to come for Aaron.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, and like you said, instinctively, because his teammate actually missed the ball. It actually was going to his teammate, and his teammate tried to shoot and missed it. And Aaron just kept a great position, forced times it in the bottom corner. So, look, he just got his move to Millwall, and I just said he missed a penalty in his debut. So, he
I think he won that penalty as well,
yeah,
which was good as well that he's winning
Yeah.
the penalty
yeah,
despite
exactly.
missing.
And then he bounces back after missing a penalty and scores. So, and it's a very nice goal as well. So, look, hopefully see him get on a bit of form, because we all know the player he can be and the player he should be. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think just on Connolly, like we know that he can clearly play at championship level. I would say he could probably play a level above. He just needs a bit of love and a little bit of confidence, and I think he'll get back to that. He's obviously come out with that emotional interview back when we played. It was actually the day we played Finland, and he came out with that interview and kind of said his struggles. But I don't think it was a lack of want at Sunderland. I think he wanted to go out and actually play, so he got the move to Millwall, and he's playing there. So clearly he's doing something right, and I think we've seen a lot of Irish players go to Millwall and do really well there and become cult heroes. You look at Sean Williams, who actually just retired during the week.
Yeah.
He was a big Millwall legend. I know he's a championship legend. I would say that Aaron could use this as a stepping stone to get back to the international team, and then maybe a Premier League move, or maybe a move abroad. We obviously know he went to Italy before. It didn't really work out, but I tell you what, Troy's really kind of laying the ground for other players to have a look at going across different countries that play with a different style of play and more of a technical style of play. Because Aaron's obviously not a big lad. He's small, quick, fast, and sharp. Probably like Adam Eade is obviously big, strong, physical, and able to battle with defenders. Aaron Connolly wouldn't be able to battle with defenders in that physical sense. So I think that could be something down the line. But it's just great to see him doing well, and I kind of know him personally, so I really want to see him do well. I want to see him get back to a good height of where I believe his ability should be.
Yeah, absolutely. He offers something completely different that we don't really have in the Irish team at the moment. Another man to look out for, Idah Maku, is coming back into training at Millwall. Maybe we see a little bit of a Irish link up there in weeks to come, but look, that's what we're hoping for. Anyway, Andy Moran also comes off the bench for Stoke. Wins have been hard to come by for Stoke this season, but he was in great form at the start of the year. There was that little bit of a link up with Tom Cannon, who's since moved on. Finding a bit of form, hopefully now again. Came off the bench, scored the winner for Stoke. Lovely touch and finish in the box. He's a player with loads of promise, has been promising in the under-21s and has been threatening to make an impact in the first team. Hopefully we can see that in this year to come, 2025.
Yeah, hopefully, yeah. And honestly, I think we will. So hopefully this is the start of it. Obviously, like you said, he came off the bench and his goal is lovely. Edge of the box, first time in a crowded box. So, look, like you said, he's at a Stoke team that's struggling. So it's not going to be easy for him. But
First win for their new manager, Mark Robbins.
There you go, yeah. So if he can stand out in a struggling Stoke team, that would be great. And hopefully we can see him back in the national team competing for places. Because the more Irish players we have in form, the better. No complaints about that.
Yeah, I think there's times this season where he's kind of been played out of position where he's being played as a winger and stuff like that. He did mention he did have a good link up with Tom Cannon last year. He had a good link up with Sammy Smodix at Blackburn as well. I just hope that he finds his position. Like if he is that number 10, I hope that he can play that and maintain in that position. If he's to go back a little bit deeper and be a central midfielder, then I hope he finds that. He's obviously a class player. He's got that killer ball, but he's also got a goal in him. And I think Ireland need as many midfield players like that, but we need him to be performing and scoring and getting his assists all the time to be considered. Not that we have that many options, but like you see Finn Azaz a lot of the time, he's a goal or he's an assist most weeks. So you probably say he's ahead of him in the pecking order right now. So that's why I think he should be trying to do as much as he can to get as many goals and assists by the end of the season, because he's going to be looking to get back into that Brighton side next season.
Will Smallbone also coming back from injury, another creative midfielder who will be threatening for that position.
He'll be in the Championship next year though, so I don't know.
Yeah,
that's any good to him.
Yeah,
although he did have a couple of teams chasing him. Was it Brentford looking at him at the
maybe? Yeah, there was a couple
in the
of
summer.
injuries.
So if they go down, he could probably go for a cup price to Brentford, which would be a good move.
Fingers crossed. Yeah, we mentioned Tom Cannon, who had a great link up with Andy Moore, and at the start of the season, he's since moved on. We'll talk about him in the transfers next up, but Tom Cannon playing with Sheffield United right now, second in the Championship, got a lovely assist yesterday for Brereton Diaz, Chilean international. Spins his defender in the corner of the box, wraps a lovely ball, kind of blind ball around the front of the keeper in that kind of corridor that you'd love to put the ball in. Lovely fluid front three for Sheffield United right now that is working really well for them. They have Brereton Diaz, Cannon and Brewster, who you might know from Liverpool, all up front at the same time, and puts a ball in. Brereton Diaz gets in the end of it. Hopefully finding form again, which he's picking back up where he left off from Stoke. Leicester recalled him, signed him back out to Sheffield United. Another fella who might be threatening for a position in the Ireland squad.
Yeah, he could be, but the only issue I have is obviously he helped Leicester get up last year and they didn't take a gamble on bringing him up to the Premier League. So that for me kind of was like, what's that all about?
Disappointing.
Yeah. But look, Sheffield United, we saw them come up last year and they really struggled to have any sort of kind of presence up front. So I think having someone like Tom Cannon going there, he has more of a chance of playing for Sheffield United than a Leicester, because Leicester still have like Vardy and those sorts, still kind of players who are, Vardy is Premier League proven, whereas Cannon, Everton were letting him go when Everton had no striker. When Calvert-Lewin was injured, Cannon wasn't even playing for Everton at that stage. Under Lampard, he was barely playing. He went out on loan to, I think, Preston. So that was telling me how far down the pecking order or the gulf in class from Calvert-Lewin to Cannon was. So I just hope he can get his goals and prove people wrong and become a good number 9 for Ireland.
Yeah, because like he's gotten his goals for Stoke, so I don't see why he can't for Sheffield. And I know it's a shame that Leicester didn't take a gamble on him, but at least with Sheffield, it gives him a chance for being back.
More game time,
yeah, and more game time, exactly. So he has more game time. He's playing for a team who are currently sitting in second. So maybe we'll see him in the Premier League next season, hopefully, and he can keep his goal scoring form going.
Yeah, I think it's the first time in a long time we actually have a pool of young strikers coming in that are performing well. Yeah. There's no real experienced striker, like I suppose Idah and Parott have come in from an early age and they're probably looked at as experienced. Even Evan Ferguson probably feels experienced when he comes in there now, and he's like 19 or 20, and you're kind of looking going, all right, well, we probably need a bit of experience, or even if they're playing at club level at a decent level. You look at Nathan Collins, who's performing quite well for Brentford, but he's not playing in like a Europa League or a Champions League where they have to dig in and get a result, because I think that's where Ireland need players when we're playing in a big international side and we have to dig in to get the result, and then get over the line in big victories, which we used to have. We had great characters that would help us get over the line. Those good Walters, O'Shea, Robbie Keane, those sorts that we don't have right now. It's a lot of kind of championship to just starting out their careers in the Premier League sort of at the moment,
Yeah, probably the Irish player with the best position right now to get promoted to the Premier League. Another fella who's probably in the team who's threatening to get into the playoff positions, Mark Sykes, helped Bristol City to a point against Oxford away. Doesn't sound like much, but they had 9 men at the end of the game. So his goal that came from a lovely work set piece from, straight off the training ground, a free kick and a kind of crossing position, rolled to Mark Sykes on the edge of the box, and he just wraps it first time, top left corner.
What a finish.
Yeah, a player who, has made cameos for Ireland, but is in that kind of pool of players in the fringes of the squad, probably fighting with the likes of, Malumbi, not Smallbone maybe, but Jason Knight, a few other midfielders, Jack Taylor.
He can also play wing back though.
Yeah, he can play multiple
right wing back. But I think Stoke lodged a bid for him there during the week, so he could well be on the transfer tomorrow. Could be in for a transfer tomorrow. Yeah,
and a couple of players that he's kind of still fighting for his position over. Maybe hasn't, stamped his claim on the Ireland squad in the few appearances that he's made, but hopefully a sign of things to come if he can get things going at Bristol City.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's ever really doubted his ability. He just kind of wanted to see like when he does get his chance for Ireland to take his chance. And I don't look. I think the Irish team's a really hard team to get into and perform well. I think it's a struggle. I mean, how many players can you say if you looked at the squad and you were thinking to yourself, how many players could you name that play consecutively? You could probably only say Josh Cullen. I would say everyone else is not guaranteed the spot.
Yeah, they're in now.
They're always in and out. There's not like your wing back, your 3 centre halves or whatever. Maybe Nathan Collins because he's the captain now. He would be there if Seamus was fit. He would be there. But other than that, there's only three positions. And again, then you're talking about the whole squad and injuries and stuff like that. So look, if he did start performing, and he did do well. Great. Like I'd love to see it, but I'm just wanting maybe to take that next step, just become more established.
Yeah, I think in the Ireland team, we need strength and depth, but we've got a lot of players who are kind of on the fringes right now. We need players to really mark their claim in the squad, become starters, and be the first name in the team sheet. We need, as you said, a kind of defined starting 11, and then players kind of fighting to get into that.
And we've so many players who like don't know where they're meant to be playing. Like we've so many people moving positions. Like you said there about Sykes, like he can play wing back. He's like so many players can play different positions. We just need players to lock down in one position and
be really good at it.
Yeah, like Cullen he's solidified his position. So that's just what we need. We need players to lock down the position they want to play in.
Seeing it before with the likes of Jason Knight or Alan Brown, Jamie McGrath, Callum O'Dowd, the players who can play in multiple positions and make a good career for Ireland out of that.
Yeah.
We kind of need.
Yeah, well, maybe John Joe Patrick Finn, he played again for his dad, the Rams, whatever way you want to say.
Yeah.
But he played for them today. He played 63 minutes. But I think a lot of people saw his cameo against PSG last week, and he was really good. Ball with a midfielder, probably something we're lacking. So he could be one that comes in, maybe not in the next camp, but if he has a good end to the season, there's no reason why in the summer he couldn't be brought in.
He's one to watch for that.
I think so, yeah.
And he's a big lad.
Not a lot
like
of people.
Fellaini, we were calling him, the Irish Fellaini.
Yeah.
I think he looks like Pogba when he's playing. He's so big and kind of dominating in that midfield. Like he's probably not on a lot of people's radars who might just.
I thought he was a winger originally.
I did too, and I think he was, and he's more of an attacking player. But watching him now, he's like a battler, defensive.
He's filled out
midfielder.
as well, yeah.
And yeah, it could be an area where Ireland need. We have Josh Cullen there right now. This was completely different to Josh Cullen.
Oh, yeah.
And he's probably similar a little bit to Malumbi with a bit more finesse.
Yeah, way more dominating in the midfield as well.
But just on the ball, I mean, with finesse.
Yeah.
Malumbi, I think, is so energetic, gets around the pitch, covers a lot, but his kind of final pass and stuff like that, it wouldn't be of that sort of playmaker. I think that's maybe where Malumbi sort of lacks, but what he makes up for is the other way. Is defensively, he's a total handful.
His work rate,
and he's also quite good at carrying the ball and getting us up the pitch. He's good at that, but has a way of kind of just getting us up the pitch by running with the ball. Like a lot of our players, they just kind of give the ball away, but I find he gets us up the pitch by trying to carry us. When I think John Joe Patrick Finn, he could find that killer ball or see that through ball to a striker to run into maybe also.
That kind of nicely brings us on to our last couple of highlights of the weekend. Jason Malumbi on that list, scoring for West Brom. Did lose in that match, but still battling for the playoffs.
Yeah.
Down to League Two, Aaron Drinnan with a goal. Big shout out to David McGoldrick with a lovely finish.
What a finish.
Chip reeling back the years to...
He's banging them in every week. He's ridiculous.
Yeah.
At that level. It's like a cheat code.
I love David McGoldrick. I think he's always been a great player.
Yep, did he?
Yeah, you love James Collins though, Steve. He got another one.
Oh, listen. He actually missed a penalty.
Yeah.
But he got onto the rebound, so
I suppose
shout out to James Collins, the goal.
What a player.
I suppose that's what happens when you put centre backs on penalties, isn't it?
There you go.
Yeah.
Sometimes it can get messy.
Yeah. Anyway, that kind of finishes up. Anyone else you want to talk about, lads?
Well, Omar Bamadelli would have played today with John Joe Patrick Finn, and then Troy's playing currently at the moment. But I think
90 minutes. I think you said Steve.
90 minutes he got for Sheffield.
he scored.
Yeah.
Troy penalty.
Troy
there
just
you
scored
go.
now. There you go.
Right.
So there you go. It's a
Troy.
1-0 up at the moment. 28 minutes. So he only scored a couple of minutes ago. So we are live, to be fair. So yeah, 28 minutes, scored a penalty.
Some week for the Irish strikers, isn't it?
Yeah, and we might see Troy soon.
Hopefully, yeah.
But yeah, Omar Bamadelli played 90 minutes today. His first 90 minutes for Strasbourg. They lost. It way it ends. But look, it's good to see him get 90 minutes. He came on last week against Lille, and they ended up actually winning the game. He came on at half time, so good to see him get 90
I
minutes.
think on that, Steve, is the fact that I'm just happy to hear he's playing minutes
yeah,
because he wasn't at Forest.
Yeah.
I think he could be the best of our central defenders.
I agree.
He just needs time to play.
He needs and to develop.
Yeah.
I don't know why Nuno, but look, it's one of those things. Jake O'Brien as well, by the way, got a good win yesterday with Everton, a clean sheet again, played right back, played very well again, another 90 minutes under his belt. So we must shout him out. But I'm just saying, like, Dyche didn't fancy O'Brien. Moyes comes in. Jake O'Brien looks like he's a Premier League veteran. He can play every single week. Out of position. It's amazing what a good manager can do. I'm not saying Nuno's a bad manager, but what I'm saying is another manager shows Almabama Deli love. I think then he shows his level and what he can do. So I don't think he's a bad player or anything like that, but it's good to see him getting minutes. And he's still very young. Came into that Irish team very, very young. I'm sure he's only about 21 or 22. He's still got a lot of development to do. And if he does it in France, it done well. It served Jake well. So let's see.
Yeah, and like you say, it's amazing what just a bit of trust and faith that a manager can put in the player can do to a player's career. And I'd agree with you that I think Andrew has as much potential as any of the centre backs coming through. It's just him being able to show that, and I think an extended period of game time he might be able to.
Yeah, I think Nathan Collins set the bar.
Yeah,
so it's up to the rest of them to catch up to that.
Definitely.
Exactly. Yeah.
So that's about it, I think, for Irish Abroad this week. Make sure to look out for our transfers video next up, and we'll see you next week.
Yeah, don't forget to like, subscribe, and we'll speak to you all soon. Thanks for watching.